What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chip, and we're back at you from RVA Vapes. And today, we got a cool one for you. This is the Vandy Vape Pyro V2 bottom feeding RDTA. Alright, boys and girls, today we're talking about the Pyro V2, and this one is a bottom feeding RDTA from the guys at Bandy Vape. So let's dive right in. Now, right off the bat, you'll notice there's some cool goodies in here. Obviously you have the tank, and then you've got a different drip tip, which has got more of like a pyramid shape to it. A glass as opposed to this orange glass or yellow glass. And then this guy's really cool. This actually measures the leg length of your coils. So you got 4 all the way to 11 millimeters, and you can see they put a little star next to the, or a triangle next to the 5 millimeters, because that's the recommended leg length of coils. And of course, got all kinds of extra goodies in here. Ooh, some nice coils. You got fused Clapton nichrome coils. Extra goodies here. You got your regular pin, some spare plugs, some grub screws, a bunch of O-rings, 2 Allen wrenches, looks like a 510 drip tip adapter, and your blue screwdriver, and of course your manual and multi-language. So your Pyro V2 right here, you can see it's got your wide bore drip tip and Ultim, which is nice, blue finish, and then a matching amber Ultim kind of glass, and then you've got these little Ultim accents up here as well. So here you can see you've got these plugs that actually cover your fill ports there, so you can fill on each side of the deck. And if you look right there, you can see the drilled out holes for the airflow. So that is gonna be for the top to bottom airflow. The way this airflow works is it comes through this little gap right here and down through those slotted holes. And because of the cutouts right here on the top cap, you can see right here they notch in perfectly. So there's only one way to put this top cap on properly, and that aligns those holes with your coils, so it comes in on the sides of the coils. That's interesting. So the coils are going to be built this way because there's your wicking channels. Big fat wicking channels on these guys too, so I like that. And then it lines it up so you're running your airflow this way between the coils. So your coils are running this way, so the airflow comes right across the sides of the coils, just like that. So let's take a look at this deck now, right? So you've got a dual postless deck. You can see it's flat across the top there. So basically you're just going to drop the coil straight in like this so that the broadside's facing this way, and then you can run your cotton through like that. Drop it down in those giant wicking holes there. And I imagine you could do a single coil if you wanted to. You just have to make sure the cotton's floppy enough to cover all those holes, or all that space on the side there. And then you've got your fill hole and your burp hole on the side, so that's really smart. The other thing that's unique about this guy is it's actually bottom feeding. So you can see it's got a bottom pin or a squonk pin right there. So you can actually run this guy on a Squonkable device, which is really cool. And you can see we can take this guy apart like so, and that whole bottom cap comes all the way off, similar to your Alpines. And you can see the O-ring there, and it looks like that little hole right there, I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, you can see that. It looks like that's where the bottom feeding part comes out at, so that's kind of cool. Comes down from the top, so it goes all the way up into the deck and then squirts back down. And that's your up close look. Alright guys, so now that you've got an up close look at it, we're going to break it down and show you what this thing is all about. Alright, so the parameters on this guy from tip to tail, you're looking at 44 millimeters, 24 millimeters across, and it holds 2 or 4 mils of juice. But don't forget, it's got that bottom feeding pin so you can squonk it as well. You saw all the goodies that are inside the box, you know what I mean? So it comes with a ton of really cool stuff. You know, you've got your coil lead guide. They want you to cut it at like 5 millimeters. And you can see when we did that, I tried to follow it exactly as they did. So you can see it sits like right on top of the deck there. But you can also see it's got those little kind of grooves or ramps right underneath the coil there. And what that does is it shoots the airflow right up underneath the coil. Now, we tried to push it out as far as we could, but I forgot that the top cap's got those blocks in it for the airflow, so it was arcing out. So you really want to set it edges right where the block is. So you can see the block right there. And you don't want the coil leaning further over than where these screws are at. So you can see it sits just inside those screw posts right there. Now, there's not much clearance underneath the deck, so that was a little tricky. I would say if it was me, I might go like a millimeter up on the legs, but you really want to make sure you get them down in there good. Now we showed you the airflow inside the top cap here, but I want to kind of reiterate that. You've got those slots in there, right? So what that does is it creates a down from this cap here. It goes in, down, through those slots, kicks up off that little plate ramp and goes directly up into the coil and then out of the drip tip. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but it actually works really well. And with those holes drilled in there, you get a nice smooth draw. Then you've obviously got your plugs there that fill these two holes, so you don't have to worry about it leaking. And you've got your cutout little slots here that fit right in those notches, so it's easy to make sure you line everything up perfectly every time. So first and foremost, I like the Ultim look with the blue. Very, very cool, very classy. It's easy to turn this adjustable airflow, so you can open and close that. Seeing exactly where it's lined up is a little bit difficult, so I kind of do it based on these little dots right underneath this lip here. You can see where the airflow cutout is, so I use that and the dots on here to kind of gauge where I'm at. We use the coils they provided, and they're really nicely labeled. They're fused Clapton all nichrome coils. Installing everything with the slotted screws, they give you a grub screw option, but personally I think the slots are the best. It's a slot slash Phillips, so I just used a little bit larger slot and it worked great for me. You can see it's no slouch on vapor production. The flavor on it's really good. It's really easy to build, put together. The styling on it is great. You know, all in all, I haven't really found anything in particular I don't like about this guy. You know, we love the postless decks. You know that we love the rebuildable tanks, and being able to squonk it is even a better option. So when you squonk it, you're basically squonking it up through that center tube, and then it squirts right down from the top of this, from the underside of the deck right here, and it just stops here and squirts out into the tank. So theoretically, with the right squonk setup, this tank has a 14 to 16 milliliter capacity, which is huge in my opinion. It can handle low resistance with the coils they provided us. You can see there I'm running at 55 watts and it's a 0.2 resistance. So the smoothness of the draw, the ease of use building it, and all of the features that are compounded into this guy makes it a very, very enthusiastic 2 thumbs up. You know, Vandy Vape's motto is full steam ahead, and they've really done that with this one. Now, it is a little bit, I think, of a niche kind of tank. I don't think it's going to become the next big rebuildable, but I do think for you guys out there that want a really good, easy to build squonkable tank, or just a nice flavor RTA in general, you should really, really check out the Pyro V2. You know, the Pyro 1 was really nice and they did it well. This one, they kind of tweaked a couple of things to help enhance the flavor a little bit, but it also makes it a lot easier to build and to work with, in my opinion. And it's a lot more convenient now that it has the squonk pin and the plugs on the side to keep it from leaking when you flip it like that. The wicking, we did our traditional V-wick, so that means when you pull it through, if you're looking at the cotton on the side, you've basically got a square or kind of fans out. What I'll do is I'll take the center and cut in both directions, and that helps with the Genesis or bottom feeding RDTA type of tanks, because it creates kind of like a siphon or a straw, and it allows the juice to get up and get into those coils faster. With the fused Claptons, I always try to wick it a little bit tighter through the coil itself. So the most cotton I've got is right in between the coils there, and the least cotton I've got is at the very tip. But you can see it does the job. And by wicking it tighter in the middle of the coils, that really helps reduce the spit back and any of the potential hot spits or hot pops of juice that come out of rebuildable tanks, especially the RDTAs where the deck's on top. So all in all, the Pyro V2 is a great little flavor tank with a Squonkable addition to it. It just makes it that much better in my opinion. There's no problem in leaking, even though it is a Genesis style bottom tank, top deck configuration. And it comes in some really cool colors, so I'm going to throw those up right now. You can see that all of them have the amber or ultim option, but it does come with a black drip tip and the clear glass, as you saw earlier. Make sure you check out shop.rvavapes.com, and you can pick yours up for 10% off with the coupon code PYRO10 right here. And as always, thank you so much for watching. We do this, guys, for you so that you can check it out and you can see what it is before you buy it. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can check out all of our reviews that we drop every Saturday. And as always, if you want to smoke, that's your business. If you don't,